Illustrator. Though I may have had a bit of a rocky start when I started using it a couple of years ago, it's now become my favorite software from the Adobe family, and I can easily call it my go-to software for making art alongside Clip Studio Paint. Though it's perfectly understandable knowing that Illustrator may not be exactly for everyone. Even if you take away Adobe's sporadic monthly tax for software that might work, it requires a very different approach in comparison to most other types of digital art programs, as you are now working in vector. I've seen some people say that learning Illustrator and figuring out how to take advantage of its features is somehow more complex than figuring out Photoshop, which I do get. Creating the work you want to see in Illustrator, or maybe just vector in general, requires thinking outside of the box and using tools how they weren't exactly intended. This is how I figured out other programs like After Effects as well. Here's 4 things I wish I knew before starting Illustrator. Pre-transformation is a pretty well-known feature of Photoshop. You can take a flat 2D image and be able to adjust it as you see fit, even the ability to distort it into all sorts of angles. In Illustrator, this can be used to your advantage to create some truly engaging and unique designs, but it's not exactly a tool immediately available to you. Actually, there's a good amount of tools that aren't exactly available anywhere, unless you click on these 3 tiny dots at the bottom of the toolbar. This menu contains a bunch of extra tools you can add to or remove from the toolbar, including being able to put ones that work similarly over each other, letting you access all of them in a drop-down menu. There's actually a lot of incredibly useful tools hidden away in here, such as a live paint bucket and a tool to quickly generate pie charts and graphs. So let's say you've added an effect to an object or a group of them, such as adding an arch effect to this bit of type here. You continue with the rest of your project and eventually come back to it, realizing, hey, I want to change this. So you just apply the effect again to reset it, right? There actually is a way to change any effect, along with colors, stroke size, and more. Being able to see everything that has been added to or applied to an object all connected together in one place with the Appearance window. So in case you haven't made a backup of your normal object before an effect was applied, or are too far into a project to undo it and get it back to normal, you can easily just click, change whatever values or effects you need to change, and continue on with your work. The ability to create patterns in Illustrator is great, but depending on how you like to present things, you can't exactly align them to be perfectly even or centered with the canvas or object is over. That is, unless you do this. By expanding the shape you have the pattern in and removing the clipping mask, you get a grid that the pattern is inside. You can use this to align the pattern, and even put another clipping mask on top of it to clean things up. This is the Type on a Path tool. It lets you type along a stroke no matter the shape. A pretty common use for it is to have text curve around an object. Say for example, text under a more round logo, or completely surrounding it. Let's take a look at a logo like this. Text on top, text at the bottom, both upright. Let's try making something like that now! Oh, like other things in Illustrator, the most useful options for tools are usually hidden away. In the case of Type on a Path, you need to click the Type tab and Type on a Path option to find these. Flipping will put the letters inside or outside of the shape, as well as their orientation. Baseline will align the text to the edge of the path, Center will place it in the middle of the path, Ascender will raise it slightly above the path, and Descender will put it slightly more inside the path. For an ideal and even look for our example, our top half will not be flipped and use descender, while our bottom half will be flipped and use ascender. Illustrator, like Photoshop, has so many useful tools available that it definitely takes a little extra work to find out and take advantage of them all. I don't really know if that's a testament to how much is available, or just how poorly designed and stuck together with duct tape and twine it is, like most Adobe software. Have I mentioned that you have to pay a monthly subscription? Regardless, if you learned anything new from this video, or this has helped as a refresher, let me know! Thanks for watching, and see you next time.